It's Laura. I'm going to tackle another frequently asked question. This is a question that it's tough. I get this question mostly from consultants that have been in the business for a little bit. And it's always a hard one to answer, I'm not going to lie. So I'm going to try to condense my thoughts of this very broad topic of how I deal with rejection. So basically, sometimes the question might come into my inbox looking like, hey, Laura, what do you do with your downline when they just stop responding? Or Laura, how do you deal with a customer that's gone MIA? What do you do with, downline that, won't show up or won't respond to your text or talk about you behind your back? How do you deal with that? And this is a pretty big topic. I'm not going to lie. I also have a very tender heart. And so some of you guys, this might not even be something that even is a struggle to you because you're just like really sure of yourself and maybe, I don't know what the opposite of a tender heart is, but whatever that is, maybe this isn't a battle or a struggle for you or something that causes you to lose sleep or struggle. But for those of us that do, this can be something that causes a lot of heartache and causes you to even question yourself, question your worth or your value as a leader. Or maybe even as a consultant, because I know what it's like to have customers that think you hung the world one minute and then all of a sudden you see that they're buying Scentsy from someone else. Like, what does that mean about you and how you've, your customer service or whatever? Like, it makes you question yourself, or it does me anyway. So when this question comes in, it's always a hard one to answer because I'll go ahead and say that sometimes I have been ghosted. And when I think about the situation, I realize that I could have done better. It was something that maybe I deserved. Maybe I wasn't at the top of my game. Maybe I let too much time go by before checking on them. Or maybe I realized that, the way I responded to an email or something could have been a little bit more personal. I don't know. I'm just saying that there are some times where I look back and I think, maybe I'm reaping what I've sowed, right? Just being honest. And so when someone asks me or wants input or sometimes comes to me and wants to vent about this topic, it's sometimes hard for me to just right off the bat without knowing the situation, because I think back in my own life and sometimes I feel like that there was something more that I could have done. In fact, I almost always feel like that there's something more that I could have done. But there are a lot of times where I have had to just come really just bring it down to earth and realize that I can make the food, I can put everything out, I can pour my heart and soul in making sure that I've prepared a spread. But if somebody doesn't want to come and eat, that's on them. I have to be okay with that. If I know I've done my part and I know that I can go to bed at night knowing that I've, to the best of my ability, done right by this person, whether it's my downline, my customer, whether it's a hostess, whether it's a director, whether it's a brand new consultant, as long as I know that I've done my part to make sure that to the best of my ability without being like a crazy person, that I've done right by them, then hey, if they choose to not respond, then I have to be okay with that. I have to know that it's not always a reflection of what I did wrong. I often think that a lot of times people go through these seasons in their own lives, just like I go through seasons, where responding to text and emails not maybe a high priority because of what they're dealing with on a personal level. And I can't let that be a reflection of my value and my worth. Just because maybe they are too busy to respond doesn't mean that the way I worded the text or the email was bad. It just is more a reflection of what they've got going on in their life. And I can't always internalize that. I sometimes have to even distance myself from the outcome. I prepare the food, I send out that text or that email, I do it to the best of my ability and make sure that I've got their best interest in mind whenever I do it. And then I have to distance myself from the outcome. I have to remove myself from what happens next, which is really hard to do. If you have a super servant's heart and you are tenderhearted, then you're like super invested in the outcome, but you can't always be, because that's not healthy for you either. And so if you struggle with rejection and you are struggling with, feelings of maybe insecurity because of how the response or the lack of response, then maybe you need to distance yourself from the outcome and just look at it as, hey, I made the food, I spread out the buffet, and maybe they just didn't want to eat chicken that day. Maybe they only wanted to have dessert. Maybe they only wanted to pick and choose. Maybe they aren't hungry because they're getting fed somewhere else, and that's okay. So I hope that you'll take this to heart and realize that you are powerful. You have an amazing outreach. Don't give up. There are more people that think that you hung the moon than probably you realize. And so just because you're not getting a response back, maybe you're feeling like that you're not making an impression or having an impact on someone just because they don't respond, that's not the truth. They got it. And keep doing what you're doing. And if you can change one person's life, or if you can make one person feel good about themselves that day, then hey, you're doing an amazing job. And so anyway, take it from me, the super tenderhearted girl that loves to make a difference and does feel sad whenever I feel like I'm not. You are amazing, okay?